So it's so good to see you guys. Thank you all for being here today, for taking this time. Before we get started, let's just find, if you're not already sitting, you can find a comfortable seat, maybe sitting on a block if you have it, or a blanket over the block. Love that. And once you find this seat, go ahead and just kind of shift a little from one sits bone to the other. And eventually you'll just let yourself kind of center where it feels like center for you. Where you can feel even distribution of weight beneath both halves of the hips. And then if you feel comfortable too, you can start to soften your gaze. Maybe just drawing your gaze down towards the floor. We're gonna find a natural breath rhythm before we move into our ujjayi breath, which we'll find together. So just observing your natural breath here in this moment, just listening in, seeing if you can sense where in your body it feels the breath is beginning. Maybe you're running a little hot or feeling a little anxious and the breath feels a little higher, maybe in the chest space. Just observing where you notice the breath beginning and then where you notice the breath traveling as you inhale, inviting more air in, and continuing to stay with your breath. Follow it as you exhale and let that breath make its way down, maybe moving a little deeper than where you felt it began. And as you continue to breathe, just at your own pace, with your own rhythm, I want you to continue to sit with this breath, observing it, just how it feels in this moment. In today's class, we're really going to be focusing on our breath, which as soon as I said that, it's silly. Every class, we're really focusing on our breath. We're listening to our breath. We're making changes, using our breath to help fuel all of our emotions. But I wanted to really let this class kind of allow the breath to be our first component. So that's the thing that we'll continue to come back to. We're going to work on developing our ujjayi breath together. And I've also been thinking about this idea of softness and then rigidity within our shapes, within our postures. So I remember back in my 200-hour teacher training, we were learning the meanings of the words sukha and stira and how they work together, almost like yin and yang. They don't even really exist without the other. So sukha can be defined as soft or ease. Sukhasana, our cross-legged seat, a comfortable, a shape of ease, of softness. And then stira is defined as uh, more like heat-fueled, challenging, strength, structure. So within each of our shapes, we have this balance of both softness, of ease, as well as some rigidity, some work, some energy happening to fuel it. So seeing how this can kind of translate into our breath work, our pranayama practice, finding ways to allow that breath to ease within our body, but that to help also fuel ourselves so that we can kind of, muscle through and hold a plank and support our bodies in these rigid, strong postures. So just thinking of that as you continue to breathe, how can you invite in the softness, the ease, allowing your breath to really fill the spaces within your body, within your mind? And then also thinking about the ways that our breath can perhaps stimulate and create even more energy. Maybe you start to find a longer spine. And then when you reach your next exhale, let's all draw our chins down towards the chest. Let your forehead bow forwards. So the head's just hanging nice and heavy here. Breathing into the back of the neck. And we'll find our Ujjayi breath from here. So we'll keep our lips closed. And as you inhale, as if you could inhale from the back of your throat, creating this soft, almost oceanic sound. And then keeping the lips sealed, we're going to exhale and see if you can keep that breath around the back of the throat. So it'll almost sound like you're trying to create that kind of foggy breath in front of you while keeping the lips closed. So continuing with that, inhaling, feeling that inhale rise up through the back of the throat. Keeping the lips sealed as you exhale, almost like you were trying to fog up a glass mirror in front of you. And we'll find about 5 more rounds of this breath. Maybe you can start to sync the lengths of your inhales up with the lengths of the exhales. So however long you're taking this breath, maybe you count up to a number, counting up to that same number for the exhale. And once you reach the bottom of your next exhale, whenever you get there, we'll start to flutter the eyes open if they were closed, just blinking in some light. And start to lift the head, lengthening up through the neck. Beautiful. And we'll go ahead and if you were crossing your legs, you can switch the crossing. So whichever shin was in front will now be behind. And we're going to bring our palms right in front of the chest, right together. And you'll go ahead and hook your thumbs together. Start to reach your arms up and overhead. And as you do so, can you pull your thumbs apart? Nice. So creating space between the ears, the inner arms. Inhale and reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, can you root your sitting bones down into that block, the floor, whatever's beneath you. Nice. We'll take another inhale. And then as you exhale, start to take a side bend over to the left. Beautiful. And yeah, you can lower that bottom hand down if that feels good. Maybe you keep the thumbs hooked together. See if you can really draw that right sitting bone down towards the ground. On your next inhale, reach back up through center. And the exhale, we'll take a side bend to the right. Maybe that right hand lowers, maybe the thumbs stay hooked together. Beautiful. Wherever you are, see if you can soften the shoulders down away from the ears. Beautiful. Breathing in once again. Exhale it out. And then use your inhale to come back up through center. We'll release both arms down. Nice. And then just go ahead and see if you can almost like find a shoulder shimmy. So drawing one shoulder forwards, the other back. And as you shimmy the shoulders, start to turn your head over to one side. So as that shoulder goes back, the gaze will go back. And the hands can rest on the thighs or on the floor. Taking that one more time to each side. Beautiful. And then coming back through center once again. From here, we'll shift our way forwards into a tabletop. So coming onto hands and knees. And if you need to pad your mat beneath the knees, you can always roll your mat over another time or find a blanket, towel. So we'll stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips right over the knees. And we're going to move through some cat-cows to start. So as you inhale, press into your palms, press into the tops of the feet, start to round the spine, drop the head. Beautiful, as if the backs of your ribs could kiss the ceiling. As you exhale, let the belly drop towards the floor. Send your gaze forwards. Let the chest move forwards. Nice, Caroline. Inhale to round, coming back through that cat spine, pressing into the tops of the feet, pressing into the palms. Exhale, coming through to cow. Nice, and moving through, a few more rounds. Seeing how it feels to allow your breath to guide you. So as you inhale, let that start to articulate the spine into this rounding shape. The exhale moves the front body forwards. Nice. And finishing off this last round, we'll meet back in our neutral spine. Beautiful. Drawing the tailbone back in space and extending the crown of the head forwards. Now go ahead and tuck the toes. We're going to find a little wrist stretch. So you'll start to turn your fingertips out to the sides of your mat, and you might stay here today. See how this feels. If you're ready to go a little further, you'll take your fingertips and dial them back towards your knees. Nice, Dia. So the hands will stay shoulders width distance apart. Wherever you are, can you find a little bend in the elbows? So just softening through that space. Beautiful. And really press into this thumb mound part of your hand. Nice. As if you could rip your mat in half down the long seam. And then from here, we're going to trace, imagine that you could trace little circles underneath your palms. So just shifting weight around the kind of circumference of your palm, finding these little circles. Yeah. And breathing into the spaces that feel perhaps a little restricted, a little sticky. Maybe you pause in one spot that feels good. Lovely. And then changing the direction, tracing those circles in the opposite flow. Nice. Take a couple more breaths here. And start to make your way back through center. And to come out, we'll start to tent our fingertips. So like you were cupping an egg underneath your palms. Beautiful. And then just like you were rotating a light bulb screw loose, start to tent your fingertips out to the side, and then you'll rotate your fingertips forwards, and we'll stay tented on our fingertips here. Nice. Now you'll keep the toes tucked, slide your right foot back, pressing into the ball of that foot, driving the heel away from the hands, and then spin onto the sole of that right foot. So your right toes will point towards the right side of your room. Now you can plant into that left palm. Beautiful. And then we'll reach this right arm up towards the ceiling for a supported side plank. Beautiful. Opening up that right hip, right shoulder, pressing out of the left hand. So nice. From here, let's start to reach that right arm overhead. Let the bicep graze the ear. And then start to float your right leg off the ground. Maybe you shift your weight forwards. Maybe you even slide your left hand forwards if you need more space. Yeah, beautiful. Flexing the right toes towards the right side of your room. Take a full breath in here. And then as you exhale, we're going to keep that right leg raised. Lower your right hand and step your right foot forwards right by that right hand. Yeah. And you can always use your hand to guide that foot forwards. Now we'll tuck the left toes and you'll just wiggle that left foot, left knee back behind you towards the back edge of the mat. Exactly. Nice. All right. Now from here, bring your right hand to the inside of your right foot and start to heel toe your right foot over towards the right side of your mat. And you're going to heel toe that foot a little further back towards that left foot. So it'll be kind of midway between your hands and that left knee, and then turn your right toes all the way out towards the right side of your room. Exactly. Nice. Now from here, we're going to press into that left palm. And you'll extend your back leg. So lift that left knee off the mat and roll onto the pinky toe edge of your left foot. Beautiful. Now, can you extend that right arm up towards the ceiling, stacking the shoulders? So we're in this another supported side plank. And we're going to reach that right arm up and overhead, breathing in. As you exhale, let your right arm fall back by your hips. Lower the hips towards the floor. Maybe they even tap down. Nice. Inhale, picking the hips back up. Reach that right arm back up and overhead. And we'll move through a few more of those. Exhale to lower the arm, lower the hips. Nice. Inhale, reach back up, lifting up. Exhale to lower. Nice. Inhale to lift, and we'll hold it up here. Lowering that right hand back down. Spin onto the ball of your left foot. Good. And then step that right foot back into a down dog. And we'll just be here for a moment. Maybe you pedal out the feet. Take what you need. You shake the head. Nice, you guys. Thanks for sticking with me through that funky little transition. But now you know where we're going. We're going to tap the knees down. And we'll repeat that on the other side. So tucking the toes, you'll slide your left foot back first and then spin onto the ball of that, the sole of that foot. So your toes will point towards the left side of your space. Nice. Right hand stays down as the left arm raises towards the ceiling. Opening up the hips, the chest, maybe gazing up at that top hand. Beautiful. Can you press out of your right thumb and get a little bit more space through that arm? And then taking that left arm overhead, we'll start to float the left leg off the ground, about to hip level. Nice. Flexing the toes forwards. Take a full breath in here. Nice. And then as you exhale, keep that leg raised, lower the hands, step the foot towards that left hand. Yeah. Beautiful. And yeah, you can wiggle that right knee, right foot back. Now we're going to move into that other variation of our supported side plank. So bring the left hand inside of your left foot, heel toe that left foot off to the side, and then a little further back, maybe an inch or two, towards that left knee. So the left foot will be totally rotated out to the left side. We're going to press into the right hand, spin onto the pinky toe edge of your right foot. Exactly. Lifting that left arm and then reaching the arm up and overhead, breathing in here. Can you lift the hips even higher? Exhale and lower the hips as you lower that arm down. So nice. Inhale to reach up, lift the hips. Exhale and lower. And once again, inhale, raise the hips, raise the arm. Exhale to lower. And last time we'll inhale to raise the hips, lifting that arm. Beautiful. Now from here, go ahead and lower that left hand towards the floor. Spin onto the ball of your right foot. Step your left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog.
So nice. Letting the head drop between the arms, pedaling out the feet once again, maybe swiveling the heels side to side. Nice. So staying here in our down dog, we'll start to find some stability in this shape. So rooting into your palms, can you shift the weight forwards from your knuckle pads all the way up into the finger pads? Beautiful. Maybe you find a little bit of a bend in the knees, creating some ease for the hips to rise even higher towards the sky. So nice, Dia. And maybe you inhale and raise the heels off the mat, lengthening through the legs. Exhale as you draw the heels back down. Nice, continuing to lift the hips. Inhale to raise the heels. Exhale, draw them back down. One more time like that. Inhale to lift the heels. And exhale to reset them back down. Now we'll take one more breath here in this shape. And start to gaze forwards towards your hands. And we'll take a step towards the front of the mat, towards your hands, walking the feet into your forward fold. Nice. Bringing the feet about hips width distance to start. So taking your two fists, you can measure that space right in between the hips. And finding that bend again through the knees, letting the head drop. Yeah, maybe holding on to opposite elbows. Yeah. Really allowing the torso to drape over the legs. Head is nice and heavy. Feeling the ground beneath your feet. And then releasing any grip of the arms. We're going to keep that bend in the knees, press into the feet, and slowly start to roll your way up to standing. Take your time. Beautiful. Let the head be the last thing to arrive as you roll up through the spine, stacking the hips over the knees, shoulders over the hips. Beautiful. Finding our Tadasana shape, turning the palms to face forwards. Beautiful. Let's inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, maybe pressing the palms together overhead if that feels okay. Gaze up at your hands. Exhale and fold over the legs. Inhale, we'll find our half lift Ardha Uttanasana, sliding palms to the shins or fingertips to the floor. Look forwards. Exhale, forward folds. Hang back over the legs, bending into the knees. We'll plant the palms down. And let's step back into our plank. Stacking shoulders over wrists. Press back through the heels. Inhale and gaze forwards. Exhale, tap the knees down first. And then we'll bend the elbows, hugging your ribs with your inner arms. Lower the chest, chin, forehead. Nice, sliding the belly all the way down, legs back. We'll press into the tops of the feet and draw the legs together, connecting the inner thighs. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, rise up, baby cobra. Exhale and lay the chest, the forehead back down. We'll press into the hands, tuck the toes, and shift your way back through hands and knees to meet in downward facing. Take your time to get there. We'll find 5 breaths here, maybe coming back to that ujjayi breath, that oceanic sound at the back of the throat. Allow this breath to really fill this shape, as if you could add even more volume, more height, more dimension with each breath, allowing for that expansion from the chest space. Nice. 2 more breaths here. How can you create some ease here? Maybe you soften at the elbow joints. Maybe you soften through the knees. All right, on your next inhale, start to gaze forwards towards your hands once again. This time we'll bring our feet together to touch, and you can either step forwards, or maybe you take your hop forwards. Forward fold is where we'll meet Uttanasana. Nice, letting the head drop. On an inhale, start to reach your arms up. Let your torso guide you all the way up as the palms press together overhead. Exhale, bringing the palms down right in front of the chest, releasing the arms down by your sides. Samastiti or Tadasana. Inhale, rise the arms back up and overhead once again. Exhale to fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Beautiful. Planting into the palms, bending through the knees, either stepping back or hopping back into your plank. Gorgeous. From here, maybe moving through chaturanga, bending at the elbows, lowering halfway, making your way through upward facing dog or cobra, and rolling back to meet in downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths here, breathing in. Exhale out of the mouth. Inhale once again. Exhale it out. Nice. Inhale, can you raise the hips up towards the sky even higher? Exhale, finding ease in the shape. 2 more breaths like that. Starting to bring the feet back together and gazing towards your hands. On your next inhale, either stepping or hopping the feet forwards, meeting in your forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale to rise the arms, the torso up, Urdhva Hastasana, connecting palms together overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to a prayer in front of the chest and release the arms down by your sides. Inhale, ground into the feet, reach the arms up and away from the floor. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold once again. Planting the palms, bending the knees, stepping or floating back through plank, moving through your flow, maybe lowering to the belly, finding your cobra or pressing up through upward facing dog. So nice, Caroline. Meeting back in downward dog. Breathing in here. Exhaling out of the mouth. Can you keep that breath at the back of the throat, even with the lips spaced apart? Nice. Inhale once again. Exhaling it out. Breathing in, lengthening along the sides of the torso. Exhale. One more breath here. Exhaling it out, walking the feet together, starting to gaze towards the front of the mat, stepping or hopping the feet forwards, forward folds. Inhale to rise, reach the arms up, gaze up, press the palms together. Exhale, find a prayer in front of the chest, and release the arms back down. Inhale once again, reach the arms up and overhead, press the palms together. Exhale to fold over the legs. So good. Inhale, half lift, gaze forwards. Exhale and soften the torso, soften the knees, plant the palms, bend the knees, hop or step back to your plank, moving through another flow. We'll meet back in our downward facing dog. And just taking a moment to reset here, grounding into the palms. Let's find a full breath together in through the nostrils. Exhaling it out. And once again, we'll connect the feet, bending at the knees, gaze forwards. Stepping or hopping forwards, we'll meet in our forward folds. Connecting the feet once again. Nice. All right. From here, we're going to draw the thighs together. We'll start to rise the arms up, lifting the torso, bending at the knees, coming into our first set of Utkatasana, chair pose. Beautiful. Inhale, find a lift through the chest. Exhale and fold over the legs. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale and fold back over the legs, planting the palms, bend the knees, step or hop back through plank, moving through your flow or skipping your flow. So checking in to see what you need. Is it more heat? Maybe you need to cool down, slow off. I reverse that. Cool off, slow down. Let's inhale, float the right leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Nice. Flexing the toes down. Exhale, step the foot forwards. And you'll spin your back heel down, coming right into our Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1, lifting the arms, the torso. Nice. Guiding that front knee forwards. On your next exhale, lower the arms, framing that front foot. And step the right foot back into plank. Let's inhale, lift the hips from here, downward facing dog. Nice. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths in this dog. Inhaling to find that height through the hips, raising the sitting bones towards the ceiling. Exhale and softening through the knees. On your next inhale, float the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Beautiful. Flex the toes down. Exhale, step the foot forwards, low lunge. We'll spin the right heel down, lifting the arms, the torso. Beautiful. Really drawing that back heel down as you guide your front knee forwards. Take another breath in here. Exhale to lower the hands, framing your left foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's take a full breath in here. And exhale, release. Drawing the feet together, gazing forwards. We'll bend through the knees and step or hop the feet forwards once again. Uttanasana. So nice. All right, reconnecting the inner thighs, pressing into the feet. Let's bend the knees, reach the arms up. Once again, Utkatasana, sitting for your chair. Can you inhale and lift the sternum? Exhale, maybe sit a little deeper. Nice. Inhale, rise to stand, bringing the palms together overhead. And then exhale, draw them back down in front of the chest. And release the arms down by your sides. So we're going to move through another round of our Sun B, but we'll take it a little differently. So you'll inhale, reach the arms up and overhead once again. Exhale, start to bend the knees, sit the hips back. Can you shift weight back into your heels? Nice. And just glancing down, see that you can see your toes in front of your knees. And if not, you might just send your hips even further back. So good. Take an inhale, bring the palms together, draw them down in front of the chest. Exhale, rotate to the right. Maybe you can hook your left elbow to your outer right thigh. See if you can keep your knees in the same line though. So maybe you hover that left elbow above the thigh. Beautiful. Let's shift weight into that right foot and you'll start to slide your left foot back in space, moving into our revolved lunge. Yes. From here, maybe you reach the arms away from each other. Right hand floats up, left fingertips reach towards the floor. Take another breath in. Nice. Exhale it out. And then bring your palms back together. Let's lower our hands down to frame that front foot. Nice. And you're going to press into your left palm. As you step that right foot back, we'll move into our side plank. And if you'd like to, you can always tap your left knee down for a supported variation. Maybe that right arm floats up so the shoulders can stack. Beautiful. One big breath in through the nose. Exhale, maybe floating that right arm overhead. And then we'll lower the right hand down, coming back through plank, moving through a flow from here. Option to skip and just meet back in your downward facing dog. Let's inhale and float the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Flexing the toes down. Exhale, step the foot forwards, low lunge. And we'll come right into our warrior one. Virabhadrasana one, left heel spins down, rising the arms up. Nice. Breathing in, can you guide that front knee forwards? Exhale, send the left hip point forwards. Yes. Nice. From here, inhale, extend your front leg and bring your hands to your hips. We'll step that back foot forwards a few inches. And you'll keep your toes, your right toes pointed forwards, left toes pivot out towards the left side. And we'll start to move into our, or just as how you had it, Dia, I'm sorry. Yes, perfect. So hips will stay squared forwards. We're going to move into our pyramid, Parvatanasana. So you can use your hands to guide your hips back as you reach your torso forwards, hinging forwards over the legs. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you find your blocks. And Caroline, what you can do is rest your left hand on a block. Your right hand can rest on either your right thigh or your right shin, above or below the knee. Or maybe the hip if that feels good. Yeah. Breathing in, can you ground through the soles of both feet? Exhale, continue to draw your sitting bones back in space. We'll take another breath here. Maybe you allow the head to drop. Nice. All right, now we're going to start to revolve this pyramid. So you'll take one of your blocks, bring it on the tallest setting right outside of your right foot. And you'll bring your left hand to rest at the top of that block. Right hand will find your right hip. Slowly start to look over your right shoulder, finding a still, unmoving spot to maybe fix your gaze upon. Nice. And I love that Dia has her hand at the back of the sacrum, supporting that length through the lower spine. Yeah, so nice. Take another breath here. That looks great, Caroline. And as you exhale, we'll start to unravel, releasing that right hand back down. And you can move your blocks off to the side, reframe your right foot with both hands. Bending into that front knee, we'll step both feet back, coming back into our plank. Moving through a flow from here. Beautiful. Once you're back in your downward dog, drawing the feet together, bending the knees, glancing forwards, and we'll hop or step our feet forwards, Uttanasana, forward folds. Beautiful. Let's inhale, rise the arms, the torso up, press the palms together overhead. Nice. Now keep pressing the palms together as you bend at your knees, send your hips back. Utkatasana, our last round. Nice. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bring your palms right in front of the chest and start to twist to the left. Maybe you'll hook your right elbow to that left outer thigh. Maybe the arms just hover above the legs. Can you keep your knees in the same line? So nice. Maybe you fly the arms open, creating even more space along the chest. So nice. Beautiful. From here, starting to shift weight into that left foot. Yeah, maybe bringing the hands back together. We'll slide the right foot back, moving into your revolved lunge. So nice. From here, maybe you want to reopen the arms. Beautiful. And start to lower both hands, framing that left foot. You'll press into your right palm as you step your left foot back and roll onto the pinky toe edge of that right foot. Nice. Option to lower the right knee as you separate the arms, stack the shoulders. Inhale, float the left arm overhead. Beautiful. Exhale, we'll lower that hand, coming through plank. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, pausing here. Inhale to float the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, we'll step the foot forwards, low lunge. Nice, guiding that right heel down. Coming into our warrior one, Virabhadrasana one, rising the arms up. Nice, squaring the hips to face forwards. Breathing in and exhaling out. On your next inhale, start to extend that front leg. Bringing your hands to your hips, you can step that right foot forwards a few inches. Nice, and we'll start to move into that pyramid shape once again, guiding the hips back as you hinge your torso forwards. Maybe the hands stay at the hips. Maybe they find blocks. And Caroline, for this side, you can bring your right hand on a block, left hand on the left shin or thigh or hip. Beautiful. Can you draw the right hip forwards as you guide the left hip back? Maybe let the head drop here. So nice, you guys. And we'll start to revolve it from here. So bringing a block, if you don't have it already, to its tallest height, right outside of that left foot. Right hand to the block, left hand finds the left hip, and you'll start to turn your gaze over your left shoulder. Can you find something to focus your gaze on once again as you ground into the soles of both feet? Feel the thighs drawing together, everything hugging in towards the midline. Beautiful. One more breath here. Exhaling as you slowly release that left arm. We'll lower both hands to the mat, bending through the knees, stepping it back, downward facing dog. So nice. From here, inhale, shift forwards to plank. And exhale to tap the knees down. We'll send the hips back towards the heels. Take a child's pose, rest for a moment, untucking the toes. Maybe the knees are as wide as the mat. You can reach your hands back towards your feet, allowing the shoulders to round forwards. Maybe rocking the forehead side to side on the mat if that feels good. Reconnecting to your breath. And taking your time, we'll start to bring our hands forwards, coming back into a tabletop. And from there, tucking the toes, we'll lift the knees, float the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And we've got one more standing sequence. It's a longer sequence, but from there, we'll move into some seated postures. So on an inhale, we'll float the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Nice. Can you turn your toes out to the right, externally rotating that foot, that hip? Beautiful. And then exhale, guide the knee forward, step the foot forwards, low lunge. And we'll turn the back heel down, opening up into warrior two. So maybe connecting that front heel or bisecting it with the back arch. Yeah, guiding your front knee forwards, reaching the arms out in opposite directions and glancing out towards your right hand. Let's inhale, flip the right palm and start to reach that arm up and back, reverse warrior, sliding the left hand to the shin or maybe the thigh, breathing into the right side body. Exhale, coming back through Virabhadrasana 2. And then setting the right forearm on the right thigh. We'll inhale, reach that left arm up and overhead, side angle. Lovely. Pressing into that left heel. Breathing into the left side body. Exhale, can you float that right arm off of the thigh? Maybe both arms frame the head for a moment. And then use your next breath in to lift the torso up, reach the arms out to the sides. We'll extend that front leg. And you can heel toe your back foot in a few inches as we move into Trikhanasana. So start to move the hips back as you reach that right arm forwards, forwards, nice. And then lowering the hand towards the floor, maybe it rests on a block. Keeping that left arm raised, can you stack the shoulders and rotate your chest towards the left side of your space? Beautiful. Pressing into the feet and really using the feet to create or find that engagement through the inner thighs, as if you were trying to slide your feet towards each other. Beautiful. Take another breath here. And then start to let that left hand lower towards the floor. And we're going to walk our hands over to the left as you pivot your toes to point towards the left side of your space. Wide-legged forward fold. Yes, and you'll just let your head drop. The hands can rest on the mat right underneath the chest. Maybe you want to bend into the knees. Yeah, maybe it feels good to shake the head. Yes and no. Maybe it feels good to shift weight from one foot to the other foot. Breathing space into the hips. Nice. Take another moment here, allowing the head to get even heavier. And then we'll start to find our half lift, long spine. So you can walk your hands forwards. Maybe you tend to the fingertips on the floor as you lengthen the spine, gazing forwards. From here, we'll walk our hands towards that right foot as you bend into that right knee. Point your right toes towards the front of your mat. Nice. And then swivel onto the ball of your left foot. Exactly. We're going to move into our supported warrior 3 from here. So if you have blocks, you'll take those underneath your hands, set them a few inches in front of your right foot, and start to extend your right leg. So lift the hips towards the ceiling and float that left leg off the ground. Nice. Flexing the toes down towards the mat. Can you dial your left hip point down and put a little bend in your right knee? All right, from here, we're gonna have a block. So Caroline, you'll have a block underneath your right hand. And then we're all gonna bring our left hand to that right block. Drasana, as you bring the left hand to the block, right hand to your right hip. Maybe you start to reach that right arm up towards the ceiling. Nice. Breathing in as you kick the left heel back. Exhale to soften into the right knee. Finding another breath here. Extend through the crown of the head. Can you peel your right shoulder open towards the ceiling? And we'll all start to lower that right hand towards the floor. Nice. Stepping the left foot back, both palms meet the mat. We'll step the right foot back to meet the left. Finding your plank and flowing through, maybe finding chaturanga, maybe skipping it all together. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Good. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth. Exhale with a sigh. Empty out. Inhale, let's float the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Nice, flexing the toes down and then starting to rotate the toes open to the left, opening that hip. We'll step the left foot forwards, low lunge, spinning the back heel down, lifting the arms, the torso, warrior two, setting it up here. Nice, and if you need to move your feet further out, drawing your front knee forwards towards the big toe on that left foot. Inhale to flip the left palm up, reaching that arm up and overhead, reverse warrior. Beautiful. Keep bending into the front knee. On your next inhale, we'll come back through warrior two. Exhale to tap the left forearm to the left thigh, reach the right arm up and overhead. Really press into your right heel as if there were a wall that your foot were connected to that you could just press it up against. Nice. Can you soften out of your left shoulder? And then maybe you start to reach that left arm overhead. So both arms frame the ears. So, so good. Breathing in. Exhale, we'll come back up, opening the arms, warrior two, extending through your front leg. Heel toe the back foot in just a few inches. Nice. And we'll move the hips back as you start to reach that left arm forwards, connecting the foot to a block, maybe your left leg, maybe the floor. So, so nice. And can you draw your left pec? So thinking of like your left ribs, left side of the chest, and rotating them up towards the ceiling as you gaze up towards that top hand. Beautiful. Take another breath here, pressing into the feet. Exhale, start to let that right hand fall towards the floor. We'll walk our hands over to the right as you point your toes to the right. Prasarita, Parvatanasana. Maybe you bring your feet further apart. Maybe you bring them in a little closer together, whatever feels good. Maybe you pigeon toe the feet so the toes point in towards each other. Letting the head drop. If it feels good to shift weight from foot to foot, just allow yourself to find some organic movement. Maybe it's stillness, whatever your body is craving in this shape. And we'll start to walk our hands forwards, bringing them back underneath the shoulders. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And exhale to walk the hands forwards towards that front foot once again. Beautiful. So from this low lunge, we'll have that, ball of the right foot on the mat. Find your blocks and bring them underneath the hands and start to shift weight into that front foot. We'll float the right leg off the ground, supported warrior three. As you flex the right toes down, can you spin the right hamstring up towards the ceiling and soften in that left knee? Beautiful. Take another breath here, extending through the spine. And then you'll start to bring a block underneath your left hand and you'll replace that with the right hand. Exactly. Left hand will find the left hip. Nice. Maybe that left arm will extend towards the ceiling. Keeping a little bend through that left knee. Just taking another full breath here. So, so good. Exhaling out as you start to release that left hand, both hands to the ground. Step the right foot back. Nice. Plant the palms. Step the left foot back. Moving through a final flow option to skip it. And we'll meet in child's pose. So take your time to get there. Allow the head to soften towards the floor. Maybe you slide a block underneath the forehead. Allow the belly to press forwards into the thighs as you inhale, fill up. And exhale, empty out. Returning to some softness here. Maybe rocking the forehead again side to side. And we'll slowly start to sit up, lifting the torso, lifting the head. And we'll shift our hips over to one side. And we'll come into our Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. So if you want to take your blanket, if you have one, you can fold your blanket a couple of times underneath the hips. I like to fold it kind of in this little thick stack. And then you can sit at the edge, like the very edge of your blanket, almost as if you were about to like fall right off of that blanket. And this will help to create this anterior pelvic tilt. So often, and of course I'm wearing these dark leggings that just make me blend right into the mat, but you can also see Dia here. So sitting as far forwards as you can so that the front hip points are slightly tilted forwards and down instead of this kind of curled back tucked position. And with this forward fold, we'll bend our knees and flex the toes up towards the ceiling. So your heels will be kind of balancing on the mat, some space between the knees and the floor. And you'll inhale to reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Nice. Exhale and hold on to opposite elbows overhead. And imagine that someone was drawing your forearms forwards. Start to hinge your torso forwards. Nice. And we'll take a couple of breaths here in this more active variation, breathing into the side body, the armpits, all the way up the upper arms. Exhale, rooting those sits bones down. Nice. And yeah, starting to take those forearms out in front of you. Can you keep the spine long as you release your arms and just lowering the hands to the floor? Maybe you rest the hands on your legs and you can start to soften into this fold here. So allowing the spine to round, allowing the head to drop as much as feels good for you. So maybe it feels better for you to have a little bit more space from the floor and your chest. Maybe it feels really good to move closer to yourself, allowing the head to drop. And I really love to listen to the sound of my own breath in this forward fold. I feel I can hear it even stronger, more clear. So just listening into your breath, observing how it's maybe changed from the start of class, or even just from a few moments ago. Can you soften into the shoulders? Can you soften into the ankles, even as they're somewhat flexed and rigid here? So finding that ease within the stability, within the support of the shape. Taking another breath here. And allow your head to stay heavy as you use your hands to walk back towards the hips, lengthening the spine. Nice. And if you were sitting on a blanket, you can scooch off of that and we'll move into some twists. So you can hug your right knee in towards the chest. An option to keep this left leg extended, we'll cross the right foot to the outside of that left thigh. And maybe it feels good to keep your left knee extended. Maybe you want to bend that left knee and draw your heel in towards the right hip. Inhale to reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale and take your right fingertips, tent them behind your sacrum. And then you'll turn yourself to the right as you hook your left elbow to your right thigh. Nice. Breathing into the length of the spine. Exhaling, reconnecting to the mat. Noticing if one side of the pelvis has started to shift up and off the ground. And taking another breath here wherever you are. Allow your exhale to unravel the twist. And we'll bring our hands over to the left as you find a little counter stretch, allowing the head to drop. And lifting the head once again, centering the chest forwards. We'll uncross the legs. Beautiful. Extend both legs forwards towards the front of your mat. And then bend your left knee. We'll hug that knee in towards the chest. Stepping the foot to the outside of the right thigh. Option to keep that right leg extended or draw the foot in towards the left hip. Beautiful. We'll extend the right arm up towards the ceiling, tenting your left fingertips behind you. Exhale, start to twist to the right as you hook your right arm up against that outer left thigh and rotate your gaze towards the back of your space. Yeah, and I find as I move deeper into this twist, I have to move that back hand a little further out to support the movement of my shoulder so that it's not kind of like hunched up towards the ear. So making any adjustments as you breathe, more dimension into this shape. So nice. Let's take one more breath here. Inhaling, lengthening up through the spine. And exhaling as the ribs draw in towards each other. Nice. Unraveling this twist. We'll bring our hands to the right side and allow your head to bow. And start to lift the head as you walk your hands forward, squaring the chest forwards and uncrossing the legs. We'll come to lie on our backs from here. So you can reach for your blocks if you have them. Actually, just take all of your props to the back edge of your mat so that they're there if you should want them. And then we'll lay our backs down with the knees bent and the soles of the feet planted. Connecting the back of the skull, the backs of the shoulder blades, the back of the sacrum. And then walk your feet in towards your sitting bones, bringing your arms by your sides. So the palms will frame the hips and feet will be about hips width distance apart. As you press into your feet and your palms will start to lift the hips, rolling the spine up and off the mat, moving into our set 2 Banda, Sarvangasana, bridge pose, and maybe walking the hands in towards each other underneath the back, interlacing the fingers as Dia is doing, pressing into the pinky fingers, using that to help lift your hips maybe even higher. We'll take 3 full breaths here. Inhaling, and as if you could guide your shins energetically forwards towards the front edge of your mat, allowing that weight to shift into the toe pads. Nice. And when you're ready to, releasing any interlacing of the fingers, lowering the spine back on the mat. And we're gonna take 2 more sets of our bridge pose, or if you are interested in a wheel, you can bring your palms behind your shoulders so that your fingertips are pointed towards your feet, pressing into the palms, pressing into the feet, rising up into your wheel, or moving into another set of your bridge pose, maybe making it restorative with a block underneath the sacrum. So Dia is moving into wheel. As you can see, if you're taking that shape, you can guide your chest back in space. So you continue to bring the weight forwards into the toe pads. So nice. And taking however many breaths you would like. When you're ready to come out, bending the elbows, drawing the chin towards the chest as you start to lower the back of the head to the floor. Beautiful. Then releasing shoulder blades, lowering the spine. So nice. And for your last back bend, if you want to make it more restorative, and if you don't have a block, you can also use your hands to support your hips. So what I like to do sometimes, it also helps to give a little massage to the glutes. You can slide your hands underneath your, so it'll be below your spine, like where your leggings or your pants are. The hands will be underneath the upper edge of the glutes. And it's not like a hugely dramatic restorative bridge, but I like to rock my hips a little side to side and use my knuckles and like my wrist bones to massage that always tight part of my hips and glutes. It's just perpetually contracted, I think. So maybe that feels good if you want to try that. And when you're ready, coming back through center, whatever variation of a back bend you were in, coming out of it carefully and laying the spine back on the mat. From here, we'll hug our knees in towards the chest. Giving the shins a squeeze, maybe rocking the hips side to side. And taking this moment to find any last stretches, postures, movements that you want to take before we move into our final rest. Lovely. Dia's got a wind relieving pose. Maybe you want to take happy baby, drawing the knees in towards the armpits, reaching for the feet. Maybe you want to come into an inversion before we settle back down. So just taking the next couple moments to close out your practice. And whenever you're ready, making your way into your comfortable rest position. So I am not the biggest fan of traditional Shavasana, just extending my legs flat on the ground. I'm kind of a diva when it comes to Shavasana. Yes, Dia's got the bolster, you know what's up. So yeah, let's make this comfortable. Catherine, if you want to even grab like pillows from your bed or from your couch, wherever, let's cozy it up. So you can grab a pillow or bolster. And what I like to do is stack it over a couple of blocks so that it has even more height. And of course, I've got one block and no bolster, but I'll show you what that looks like. So if you had, imagine this was 2 blocks here, and this was like a pillow bolster, that would just flow on top. And you can swing your legs over that structure. You can also find whatever variation works for you. So maybe you bring blocks underneath the calves. That can feel nice.
Maybe you have the bolster underneath the knees. Maybe you have your legs up a wall. Beautiful, Dia. Settling into this shape. And just allowing for the body to let go of whatever it's been holding on to past hour, a few minutes, what it's been holding on to maybe throughout this day, this week, this month so far. See if you can release a little bit of that holding. Maybe it's just allowing the fingertips to soften, allowing the fingers to curl in towards your palms, releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. And letting go of any control you had over your breath. Maybe just opening the mouth and allowing the breath to pass in and out of the body with a sense of ease. Softening the space between the brows, softening along the scalp, the top of the head, allowing the muscles within your face to just let go. There's no way you need to hold your face in this moment. There's no need for you to hold your body up. Really just releasing into that support of the ground beneath you, the props, if they're there. Staying as you are, just beginning to extend the breath, deepening the inhales, allow them to rise up towards the crown of the head, maybe lengthening the exhales as they move down the legs into the soles of the feet. Taking a couple more breaths like that, as if each breath could wake up a little bit more space in the body. Maybe starting to gently rock the head side to side. And as you're ready, so there's no rush, take as much time as you'd like to. We'll start to roll over onto one side, curling the knees in towards the chest, rolling off of any props, coming into this fetal position.
Allow the head to stay heavy, the eyes closed. Use your top hand to press down into the floor as you carefully lift yourself up, letting the head be last to arrive. And we'll come to find a comfortable seated position, just facing towards your camera or wherever you want. And we'll draw the palms together, connecting the thumbs to the center of the chest. Go ahead and empty out of whatever breath you were just holding. We'll breathe in together, allowing the belly to swell first, the ribs to expand out. Keep inhaling into the chest as it lifts the hands. Hold that breath for a moment if you can. Maybe take an extra sip of air in through the nostrils. Exhale out of the mouth. Bowing your forehead towards your fingertips. And taking a moment to thank yourself for this loving practice you just committed to, moving with integrity, with intention, and connected to breath. Namaste. Thank you so much, Dia, Catherine, Caroline. I hope you all have a beautiful and restful rest of your evening. It's so dark now. It's crazy. It's like, oh, I'm disoriented, but I hope that you guys can just relax and unwind. And thanks so much for joining. BB will be teaching tomorrow morning at 9:30, and Dia, who was modeling tonight, teaches on Tuesdays at 6 p.m., right, Dia? And then Wednesdays, 9:30 a.m.
Good
Or
for
is that right?
you. Yeah, that's right.
Yay. So you can catch Dia's classes then. And we've got recordings too, if ever you want to take a class on your own. So thank you so much, Catherine and Dia. Oh,
Thank
I hope to see
you.
you both again soon. You're so welcome. Thanks, Catherine. Have a
Bye.
great night. Bye, everyone.